Welcome one, welcome all to another edition of the Morning Post. Yes, Saturday morning, brought to you by the Racing Post. We're somewhere in the capital in their HQ. And of course, sponsored by William Hill. Welcome along for the next hour or so. Dave Orton, your guide, with an expert stellar panel, trying to find you some profit on this marvellous Saturday. The classic trials continue their merry way. May is one of those months, isn't it? A little bit of something for everyone. However, today we might just put the icing on the cake. We've got around about 2 or 3 weeks until the Epsom Derby and the Epsom Oaks as well. We'll be talking about French classics as well. Huge day tomorrow at Paris Longchamp. The classics, of course, the 1,000 and 2,000 guineas. I think Hills are going 5 places, would you believe it, in the 1,000 guineas. It shows you how open it is. Right, don't forget, this is your chance to have a shout out today. Get us involved. Tell us your naps. What do you like? What did you make of Chester? What did you make of City of Troy? Last weekend as well, the debrief goes on about that. Like, subscribe, comment and share. That's what it's all about. And that's enough from me. Let's return back to a stellar guest for you who comes off a winning nap and he thinks he's got this game by the short and curlies now. Aidan Coleman. I mean, we did your first show with you a couple of weeks ago. No, don't take this the wrong way, but you came on massively for the run. It's like you had your winter coat shearing off and you picked some newcomer out of nowhere that beat a 2-5 on shot. All of a sudden, everyone thinks you're the Messiah.
Yeah, well, I'm supposed to listen to you for so long and you haven't got one yet, have you?
And again, he just shows his skills there. And you've got to sit next to Graeme Rodway for the next hour or so.
What a treat.
What a treat. How are you, G?
Yeah, very well. Yeah, thanks, Dave.
What do I have to refer to you as today?
Britain's hottest tipster today, Dave.
Crumbs.
You're sitting next to... Can you feel the heat coming off me?
I literally can. I literally can. What, a couple of winners at Chester yesterday, was it?
Yeah, 2 winners at Chester yesterday, including the big one, Zoffy.
Yes, yeah, that was a good moment, wasn't it? You could feel the heat coming off Hugo Palmer, I think, when that one.
Oh, Michael Owen was over the moon, wasn't he?
Yeah, good to see though, isn't it? Lovely to see the sun shining again and everything. Yeah, all right, let's open up the trading floor to you as we do every week. If you're new to the show, we bring you the top trader from William Hills, and he's been with us again for a couple of weeks. It's Jamie McBride. Jay, good morning to you.
Morning, Dave. Good to be here. Yep, summer's finally arrived in Leeds as well.
Yeah, has it now indeed? You've got your sunscreen out and probably an umbrella as well, I imagine, Jay. You probably have to run from it more than most. Talking about running from things more than most, what is the boost this Saturday? Now, if you're not sure about this and you're a layer, William and I've got a rather good strike rate at getting a hot pot beaten. Think of Barry's Bismarck, all that sort of thing, all those years ago. Well, it's similar to that. And they're going to boost the price of...
Illinois today, Dave. 5-2 from 15 to 8 for the usual £50. Yeah, we hope we can get another Aidan O'Brien 3-year-old beaten this weekend.
Oh, okay. There we go. Just a quick word before we bring our guest onto the show, who waits in the wings. City of Troy. Whoa. City of Troy. Derby, yes or no?
Yes.
If they run the age...
That's a yes or no question.
He's got a good chance. I'll tell you the weird thing last week, Dave. There was a buzz about Newmarket that I haven't seen for such a long time. So many people seemed so excited to see City of Troy, all the hype about him being the next Frankel, and the gasp that went up in the stands when he suddenly came under pressure, fully 4 furlongs out. Everyone was like, what's going on here? They were all expecting to see Frankel, and they ended up seeing Air Force Blue or whatever his name was. Is he Air Force Blue? Is he Air Force Blue or is he Auguste Rodin?
For me, he's Air Force Blue. But
he's Air Force Blue.
He's Air Force Blue, but it's them, isn't it? And Jamie McBride, we took the absolute out of him on Sunday, saying, how on earth can you be as short as you are for the Derby? Jay, what is he now? What was he on Sunday? We were all a bit deflated on the Sunday. You know, we thought we were going to see the next big thing and we were getting ourselves ready for it. And what price was he?
Yeah, we went 6-1 in the aftermath of the race, which we've laid all week. The money's rolled in just as quickly as the excuses. We laid a 6,000 to 1 Tuesday morning. We've laid more prices down to 3-1 now. He is.
Unapologetic, he said he was, because he said it will start shorter. And through the week, he has got shorter. There's a couple of defections, but there you are, 3-1. Where do you stand out there? Let us know. Get your comments in, and let's open up the floor now to our William Hill ambassador who waits on the line. It's racing's best broadcaster and certainly the best named broadcaster as well, Nick Lutt. Now, the last time we had you on, Nick, you managed to get Iberico Lord over the line. Before we flex your tipping muscles, good morning to you. City of Troy, you've spoken to Aidan since.
Yeah, hi, Dave. To be honest, and I thought Tom Stiegel's piece in the Post this week was outstanding, because he said what everybody else was thinking, which was, you just don't know anymore. Because Aidan's someone who does things his own way. He's not someone who subscribes to the orthodoxy of other trainers. So you don't really know why he ran badly. You know, the theory is that he might not have been quite tuned enough. I can't believe that he ever leaves the horse, you know, not ready to win a classic. He's won 17 of them, Newmarket Classics. And you know, this horse has got such intrinsic value to them that I find that a difficult one to swallow. But for whatever reason, he's got out of bed the wrong side. It's not simply a question of him plateauing relative to the others, because if he'd plateaued relative to the others from his 2-year-old form, he'd have still finished 3rd or 4th probably and run all right. You know, Pinatubo type kind of run, or you know, a horse who maintained a level at 3 but didn't really go on like a champion. So we were kind of prepared to accept that. But you know, as you say, he's done it by 3 furlongs in, and it almost looked like he was running on one breath. Paul Smith said to Matt Chapman earlier in the week that he would run at Epsom. I think he will. Do I want to be backing him? Well, at 7-1 earlier in the week, I've got to say I was quite tempted, because it's going to go one way or the other, isn't it? He wins or finishes last.
Yeah, just cast your mind back 12 months ago. Of course, they did it with August Roden. So Nick says there 7-1, but you're a yes, Aidan.
Well, if he turns up in the Guinea or in the Derby, they've obviously ironed out whatever might have come to light from Newmarket last week, and you know, as I say, he did it with Augustus Rodin last year. This horse hasn't, you know, it was nearly too bad to be true. It was too bad to be true at Newmarket, and that's the angle I'm going with. You know what I mean? I'm not reading any of the excuses. I haven't read anything about him since last weekend, because you're never really going to know until he runs at Epsom, and it's going to concentrate on that.
Yeah, there is a theory, of course, Nick, with it being them in inverted commas. They could have retired him, couldn't they, and still had a lot of money at stud as a stallion. This is potentially going to lessen the value even further, or we're going to see the horse that they believe he is.
Well, I don't think it's going to lessen the value even further, because what have they got? They've got a son of Justify, who is a champion European 2-year-old. You know, whether people like it or not, you've got your stud prospect right there. You know, he can stand at stud now with what he's achieved with his pedigree, dual hemisphere, and do a very useful job for at least his first few seasons covering, even if he never does anything else. I'm not sure, actually, if he goes and bombs in the Derby, it really does an awful lot to diminish the value of what he has now. Clearly, if he goes and, you know, wins a nice race as a 3-year-old, whether it's on turf or dirt or whatever, then that maybe enhances that value. But given the fact that he hasn't won a Guineas and he's not the next Frankel, you know, he's probably set his own value already. So I sometimes think with Coolmore, when people are talking about Aidan O'Brien horses, they tend to overthink, because there has been a fair bit of a PR and mystique around the operation down the decades. I think now we sort of get ourselves into over cynical mode and overthink motives for various things. To be honest with you, you know, they could take him away tomorrow, stand him at stud, and you know, his value now is probably what it will be in a month's time, and it probably won't change that much even if he wins the Derby.
There we are. I think one thing's for certain, they won't just be running him in the Derby, I imagine, after what we've seen at Chester this week and what might come today. Talking of today, Nick, give us a couple of tips before you leave us. You're on a double.
Okay, the Derby at Lingfield, I understand why people are taking on Illinois in the Euphrates, because I think Defiance is quite a good horse. Certainly the way he closed out that blue ribbon trial at Epsom suggested to me that he's above average. Roger Varian's horses are obviously running into much better form now, as we saw last weekend. And I think this horse is a possible live outsider for the Derby. I'd be disappointed if he doesn't win today. And the other one, I mean, boring in the Victoria Cup, but I know how highly Dave O'Mara regards Pearl d'Or. There's way more to come from this horse. The fact the Hood's gone back on today, and they've got Magic Man, Sylvester de Souza, the man who makes things happen, on board. I can see him winning what I think is quite a strong running of the Victoria Cup. The Harry Charlton's horse has got more to offer. Wizard of Eye's interesting first start for Charlie Fellows. Hotmaster ran an unbelievable race in the Avenant. I know he was up on a favoured pace, but that was a really good run from him. He'll run well again. he just will run well. If you want one that's going to finish in the frame, he'll definitely finish in the frame. But I think Pearl Door's ahead of the posse. I wouldn't be surprised if he turns into a group horse between now and the end of the season. So he'll be the one for me there.
There's a shout, and that's your Iberico Lord. Absolutely solid favourite in a big handicap. Nick, fantastic to have you on. Thanks for joining us again on the Morning Post. I don't know where they've sent you, Nick. You get sent on some right assignments, but you've almost... People sometimes come on the show with filters to make themselves look better. You're trying to block out what's on the background.
I don't know why. Do you know why? You'd have thought I'd have learnt this by now, wouldn't you? Because that's the way you want to be shooting. Don't want to be shooting into the sun. I should have learnt that. 25 years in TV, I've learnt absolutely nothing, have I?
I'm
at Badminton Horse Trials. It's the most beautiful day.
Absolutely remarkable. Of course you're at Badminton Horse Trials.
Do you know what? I've never seen so many people. I drove in here about 8 o'clock this morning. Well, actually, I was down on the campsite last night. I was camping down in a tent last night, and had an amazing night's sleep. I know that's the biggest long shot that's got in today, isn't it, Dave?
Absolutely. That was a right winner, that was. I can only see you glamping, though, Lucky. I can't see you hammering in, the togs for yourself.
Right, Dave, right, these were the choices. So my sister-in-law and my nieces were camping down on the campsite here, and I bumped into them. The alternative was the Premier Inn in Chippenham. And I thought to myself, did Raymond Brooks Ward ever stay in the Premier Inn in Chippenham? No, he didn't. So I came to the campsite instead.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, let's hope the weather holds up for you. Nick, always an absolute pleasure. Good luck with Pearl Door.
Thanks, Dave. Cheers. Take care.
Brilliant stuff. William Hill Ambassador there, Nick Luck. Well, we got him on. The audio was fantastic. Poor Johnny Deneen last week. We had great audio, but he was even harder to understand, as we keep saying to poor Johnny. Right, that's done. And it gave us a flavour of what's to come, of course. Pearl D'Or for Lucky in the Victoria Cup, a puzzle we will be trying to unfold for you in itself, and with the Saturday previews coming up. Let's have a look at the paper roundup. If you have a lovely Racing Post in your fingers, or indeed your digital today, this is what you'll be getting. Classic Dreams on trial. Look, G-Rod's made the front page. Illinois, Danielle, the current favourites. We think they're the current favourites in the respective trials. William Hill sponsoring at Lingfield today as well. Classroom for late crammers, classic crammers, but not necessarily best Epsom guy. Keith Melrose, whose headlines are never easy to read. He's got to cram them in, isn't he? Hard to pick holes in a market as Danielle a major contender. This is for the Gosden, says anti-postman Robbie Wilders. Really good piece that, actually. It will give you a good steer, I'd imagine. Remarquee, the class act, but will she be ready on return? Loads there again. You can see David Milnes, the Newmarket correspondent, along with Robbie again. What else have we got coming up for you? There he is, Mr. Deneen. His wager of the weekend is Highbury tomorrow. All you gooners can slam that at Leopardstown. We'll be having David Jennings on soon as well. Take the hint, if Moore is keeping the faith, and he's an Illinois fan, basically. And Tom Siegel, who was getting a double-header with us last weekend. A couple went in, didn't they? And he's going for Far Too Shy for Rosie and George Marderson. Potmaster, who Nick gave a good speak to there as well. Up at Haydock, really good. I love these mixed cards. All the Glory, Rare Middleton, of course, in the Swinton. And down at Lingfield, Stenton Glider to win as well. Really good case there. Get involved. That's what you can get if you get your paper roundup. Right, what are we doing next? We're going into these Saturday previews. I assume we are. Okay, here we go. Let's just kick them off, shall we? And this is what you're here for, basically, to see what the panel think will win on this mighty fine day. Isn't it nice to see some good ground? Panel, I suppose I should say that to you. This is usually a boggy sort of Ascot. Last year we were there and it was horrible underfoot. You associate Lingfield with always being wet.
Yeah, well, this might be one of the reasons why when we talk later about the draw in the Victoria Cup, you get the big umbrella obviously come up with a big stand that shelters the stand side, and you always want to be high.
You heard about this theory? He thinks that's why
he's going to hear about it. He's going to hear about it.
We talked about this the other week, didn't we? Yeah.
Big umbrella. Yeah. That's probably why you want to be high, and the draw might be different now that the ground's different, of course. And this is what gets lost, isn't it? People get wrapped up in trends, but the trends are different. If the ground's different, the ground's totally different today, isn't it? It's going to be quick ground, isn't it?
So we want to be high.
Usually, but maybe not today.
I mean, that's helpful as usual.
Anyway, this is not the Victoria, is it?
No, this is the opening race at Ascot today, and you've got the hat-trick seeking Qatari for George and Josh Moore. I think that was their first winner with Josh on the licence as well. J-Mac, let's bring you in. What do we know in the first?
Yep, 5 places we're offering the first, so strong offer to start the day. And Qatari is easily the worst result so far, but we're happy to be against them. I think it's a very different test to the one he faced last weekend. A couple of others at big prices we've laid, as you'd expect with the 5 places, are Appiah and Rhythmic Intent. They've both shortened up slightly.
All righty, thanks, Jay. Okay, who's had a good look at this then, Aidan?
Yeah, my tip for this race has drifted like a barge. Great Bedouin of
Is it even on the? Is it even on the sheet?
no, it's down to like 14-1 now.
Tell us the case.
I just thought it looked quite unexposed and was very impressive. And last year at Goodwood.
Yeah.
Richard Hannon's horse are flying.
They absolutely are flying.
So
Yeah.
it might be value there. It was like 6-1, I think, when I when I thought of it, and it's gone out. So I'm a bit worried about that.
It looks a bit more open than a 7-2 race to me, G.
Yeah, I mean, as tempted as I was to tip Graeme, just because it's named after me, I did decide that I probably should put a bit more thought into my theory than that. So I went for Rhythmic Intent, who is a big old price here.
Yeah, this is in the paper today. Was this in the paper today?
Yeah, Rhythmic Intent. Yeah, I mean, he is. He's a bit like City or Troy. He's either brilliant or terrible, and there's nothing in between. But when he's good, he runs well. I mean, he was good. He was good third at Southall 2 outings ago in a hot race.
Yeah.
He was close second at Newcastle in December off a £4 higher mark. He ran in this race last year. He was beaten a length and 3/4 in this very race off a mark of 93.
Okay.
He's running off 81 here, so he's £13 lower than when beaten a couple of lengths in the race last year. If he shows that form, he will win, and no doubt about it. And we saw a horse yesterday in the Chester Cup called Zoffy, who had a similar sort of case. He'd finished second last year.
Milking this Zoffy thing, aren't you?
He'd finished second last year and then went down £3 in the weights to 90, and then he came back and went one better. So I'm banking on the fact that Rhythmic Intent's going to return to the form he showed in this race last year. If he does, he'll win, and he's a massive price.
Well, he's not even on there. What price is he, Jay?
I think he was 25-ish, but like I say, he did shorten up. I'll just bring it up 1 second. He is currently 14, 14 from 25.
The money's speaking. All right, there's a horse there called Youthful King. He won. He ran last week at Newmarket. Me and Tom Seagull were keen on it. He always seems to run on his race. I can just see Ascot suiting him, and it's one of these project horses that if you jump off now, you have to keep backing him. I can see he's solid as well. Youthful King.
He's a funny horse, isn't he?
We're all taking on the Fav. Happy to. We think it. We all. He surprised me a bit when he backed up that Windsor win, because it was a really slow couple of last furlongs. I think maybe the slowest the sectionals boys at the post have seen in a long time.
He is going up in the weights, isn't he, as well? That's the thing with him. And he's going up in the weights and in grade.
Yeah.
And that's but he's improving. So not for me at the price, but I can see the case.
He got badly hampered as well the last time, didn't he?
Yeah.
Still managed to
Okay.
run,
All
so.
right. Yeah. Okay. So he and Gary gets these horses on a roll, doesn't he? Okay. That is the opener, and a couple of big price balls for you to have a swing at. Okay, let's get them to. Don't forget, of course, 5 places instead of 3. I mean, it's right plastered there in front of your eyes, and that is because it's we've got basically a third of the field running for us potentially. So let's get it in. And like you say, you probably want to be having a swing at a price there, don't you? Unlike the short price favourite, potentially in the 20 minutes later, 150 at Lingfield. This is the William Hill Epic Boost Value Handicap. Jay, tell us about this.
Yeah, it looks a bit of a one-horse book at the moment with A. Merrick. We've laid him at 5-2. There's a 15p rule 4 in that, so punters on at 5-2, effectively on it around 2-1, which you'd still be on good terms with yourself if you're on at that price. And like I say, he's been back to the exclusion of others. It's a quite enough heat, but he's definitely a key horse for us today at around that kind of price. It's going to be really popular, probably in doubles and trebles, etc. So it's all about Merrick for us in this race.
It's got an interesting pattern, Jay, isn't it, to the card at Lingfield today? Because it starts off with a horse called Esmeralda for the Becketts, who probably nearly ought to win that opener and come on for its last run at Pontefract when the money came for it. And if that wins, then that could knock on, you see, as we go on off the card, I think. I could see that happening. Merrick?
Yeah, I thought should win. It's quite a short price now, though, because Flash Bardot, who was one of the big dangers, is a non-runner. Flash Bardot was wildly impressive at Doncaster a couple of weeks ago and looked like he might
ground,
go on.
isn't it?
Yeah, looked like he might go on. Now, that's important in itself. If the ground has quickened up, that will suit Merrick, because he was very disappointing on soft ground a couple of outings ago, and he looks much better on a faster surface. So if it is drying, as everything seems to suggest it is, I think Imeric will win, but he's short.
Aidan.
Yeah, kind of echo what Graeme said there.
It's
and he's
annoying
good
when that happens, isn't it? When you have to sort of agree.
Yeah,
with it.
just what he said basically. No, he's good fresh as well, isn't he? His first run ever was a very good run,
Yes.
and then he won first time up last year too. So, slightly disappointed a couple of times afterwards. So, maybe if you're going to get him, today's the day.
As Nick said, Roger's horses are bang firing, aren't they? Big day for the
Yeah.
team again. Classic winning
Classic
trainer,
winner,
of course,
yeah.
this season. All right, half an hour after that, or 35 minutes after that, we get our first classic trial up. So the boys, basically, in the first at Ascot, are giving you a couple of big prices to have a go at. They reckon in the second race at Ascot, at Lingfield, Fav wins. Will that be the case for Danielle, who has held her price very short? I'm a bit surprised here, Jay, that Rubies and Red isn't slightly shorter. This looks a little bit like, bad example with City of Troy. Hopefully she'll run a bit better than that if you backed it. But we also had like 6-1 bar, didn't we? You know what you pesky bookies are like? If you think there's an opportunity to really have a go at a Fav, you'd be putting this in around 7-2, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but she, rather like Emeric, it's a bit of a one-horse book again. She's really, really popular, Danielle. We were a bit bigger when we put prices back out on Thursday morning. Like I say, she's very strong. We were 20-1 after she won at Wetherby for the Oaks, and she's been really well backed for the Oaks as well, down to 8-1 currently, and was still laying the 8-1. We've also got 12-1. She wins today and goes on to follow up at Epsom. So plenty of different prices for supporters to back her out if they don't want to just take the 5-4 today.
Yeah, and this is a stable that have, of course, successfully launched a horse to win this race, Annapurna in 2019, who went on to take the big one at Epsom. Look at the bottom there, guys, if you want some epic boost value. There you go. Was Evans, now at 7-4. Ryan Moore, who missed out Chester yesterday, to ride a winner at Lingfield. Showed how good he was again, unsurprisingly, didn't he? Masterful of words that we say about Ryan all the time, but it certainly was on the Rudy this week. Does he ride a winner at Lingfield today? 7-4, if you fancy that. OK, let's talk about this. Danielle Aidan. A lot of judges were talking to me about this being one of the best bets of the weekend. I said, what happened on the first two starts?
Yeah, I think just you could have that angle. I can see 'cause she was very, very impressive at Wetherby, wasn't she? It's only 13 days ago. I know she won well, but she still had to travel up there with soft ground.
Yeah.
I think she's far too short. Really,
Okay.
I really do think she's too short. Look, that's the angle I'm going for. You're going for that, or the angle you said where she's the best bet of the weekend. But I think to go up there, run on soft ground, she still had to do the whole race, you know. I'd just be taking her on at that price.
Before we get Aidan's tip, what do you make of the Fav, G?
I think she's short because Tom Siegel's tipped her for the Oaks, hasn't he? And that's probably why you've seen so much money for the Oaks there,
of
J
course.
Mac. The big price wise tip this week for the Oaks, and now she's coming in at 5-4. Gosden's obviously got a great record with fillies like this, haven't they, in this type of horse. So, and they know what they've got, you know, when they stick them up in class out on novice races. I think you've always got to take note. I think they won the Pretty Polly again, didn't they, last week? I think at Newmarket from memory, with another
Yes.
3-year-old filly. So they've got horses at home that they can work her against and measure her up against and see whether she's up to it. And they obviously think she's up to it. But God, what a price, so short. I can't be having her at the price, but yeah, I mean, it's not hard to see her winning and then go into the Oaks as 9-2, 4-1 shot, is it?
Rubies are Red, I suppose, has got the same sort of argument. You know, she's been beaten on her first two starts. You got me for Rafe Beckett, who seems to be better fancied than Treasure for His Majesty and the Queen, and they're coming out first time. Obviously, we saw at Chester in the weekend, and that's no problem with Beckett now. He went and won the Cheshire Oaks.
Yeah, we were just talking before that, like, it looks like he's about to start hitting form now, isn't he? You know, like everybody, you know, like when we did a show a few weeks ago, those kind of bigger stables just hadn't started churning out the winners, and the others definitely have. And I think Rafe is just starting to be a good winner. Chester the other day, hadn't he? And I think they're going to start coming now.
All right.
And that was a 3-year-old filly, wasn't it, who's going to the Oaks, Forest Fairy.
Forest Fairy.
Yeah.
We rated that quite low at the post. I think it was 96 RPR.
Yeah.
That would be historically one of the lower.
I remember reading
Additions.
his stable tour thinking, well, he's got loads of good 3-year-old fillies, and Forest Fairy was the one that he seemed to give the biggest mention to ahead of these two that are running here, Treasure and You Got Me's the other one. I have tipped You Got Me here, though, because Hector Crouch rides it, but he's ridden it all the time, and Treasure is the one that Russell Ryan's on. So I don't think you need to read too far into the jockey bookings. I think that You Got Me is Hector's ride. She was 5th behind Regal Jubilee and Molten Rock, who was also in this race, who was 3rd last year at Newmarket. on really testing ground. I'm not sure if that's really her bag. She won on the all-weather first time out. Molten Rocks came out and disappointed at Longchamp first time out. So that just put me off Molten Rocks. So I've gone for You Got To Me, but it's not one of my strongest fancies of the day, Dave. As you'll see, it's not in the newspaper as one of my outstanding bets.
So we're taking on the Fav at the prices. Aidan, what with?
Yeah, I struggled with this race because I went for the angle that favourites too short, and then between Rubies and Red and Treasure. And I went for Treasure just because I thought she's very impressive at Nottingham.
That horrible could be anything
category. Could be anything category. I didn't have a massive opinion in this race. Well, I had a few opinions, but nothing that I was very strong on. But I was just going for the could be anything.
I wanted to be with Rubies and Red. Watch the market here. I think she might bounce off this quicker ground potentially. And they had, in whatever the Forest Fairy was, there was another fairy, wasn't it? It just
Port
got touched
Fairy,
off.
yeah.
What was it?
Port
Fairy. It
yeah.
was the Fairies race, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And she just got touched off. She stank in the market and still nearly won.
First-
Ryan will be positive.
And first string in the classic Aidan O'Brien 5-1 is a very big price, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Classic
all
trial,
right.
sorry.
All right. That is the Oaks, the William Hill Oaks trial at Lingfield, which can throw up an Epsom winner. Of course, Tom Siegel, as G rightly said, has gone with Danielle. A lot of you have backed it already, I'd imagine, then for Epsom, and just expect it to win. Again, let us know. There's a poll out there, I'm being told as well, by the producer on City of Troy. Yes or no, basically, for Epsom. Get involved, put your vote in for that, and we'll put it up at the end. But now it's time to have a look at the puzzle of puzzles. It's the Victoria Cup. And this is, of course, on this brilliant straight track narrative that I love at Ascot, all the way up to the Balmoral Hunt Cup and the rest of it, your internationals and all that sort of thing. Very valuable handicaps. Absolutely love this race, J-Mac. We heard from Nick Luck. It has been an anti-post gamble, that's for sure, on Pearl d'Or.
It has, yeah. He's been very popular. He's very strong in the market today, along with a couple others at the front end, the Wizard of Eyes and Hickory. But yeah, maybe a little bit underwhelming at Newmarket on reappearance, but maybe it's just a sighter with this in mind, because he's obviously got some cracking form over the straight course at Ascot. So yeah, he's very strong in the market, but we're 6 places, so we're seeing a good spread of business as you'd expect to see. I've mentioned those at the front end. There's also one at a bigger price, Abduction, attracting a little bit of money as well.
There's an interesting one there called Arabian Storm. I'm really keen on this. Andrew Balding couldn't have had a much better day yesterday, despite the fact he didn't quite manage to pull off the Chester Cup. I think he had first 4 horses won or something like that. And Oisin Murphy takes the ride. Now, if you look at some of the form of this, Jay, it's got a right chance. And I was, at the start of the week, having a little bit here and a little bit there at 20-25. So you've got him at 10s.
Yeah, he's another one who's attracted support. He's a similar profile to the handicap winner last week. Was it Desert Cop?
Yes.
Who improved massively for his first run. So, yep, you're not alone in supporting him.
And if you like Mostab Shear, who looks slightly weak with Hills at the moment, they were very closely matched on that Kempton run when they both came back. And I think you might going to be able to see an Arabian Storm. G, I want to come to you here because we talked about your umbrella theory again. I love it when you wheel that one out, as everyone else does. But historically, unless it's really soft like it was last year, you tend to want to be high in this race. I remember Paul's Kevin Stott on Barradar last year. Thought he had to ride, he thought he had a terrible draw, and he came high thinking it was going to be high, and it was all low.
That's right. Rebel Territory won it from stall 2 last year.
One is he liked.
But usually you want to be higher. Most of the recent winners have been high. You get the big umbrella of the stand that shields the stand side rail from all the rain, and it's faster on the stand side rail. But it's not been raining, Dave, has it? So the umbrella theory
hasn't been out.
The umbrella's not needed to be out. So I reckon it might be a bit more even across both sides of the track. And I like one who's drawn in stall 8, but it's David Omar's other one. So it's not Pearl d'Or.
Name?
It's Ross Collin.
Ah.
Right, now, everyone keeps telling me that this horse needs soft ground and he likes Goodwood, which is true.
What, right? On the basis of his runs there last year?
The fact that like 4 of his last 5 wins have come at Goodwood and all of his best forms on soft ground. But I don't think it's going to be fast at Ascot by any means. I think it'll be genuinely good ground. And he was second in the Buckingham Palace Stakes there, off a mark of 103 2 years ago. He's racing off 98 here over course and distance, that was. That was good to firm ground that day in the Buckingham Palace. He's got loads of form on good ground, Ross Collin. He definitely acts on good ground. As long as there's no firm on it, he will have no problems on the ground. he goes on the track. You know, I mean, if he finished third in the Buckingham Palace, you can't tell me he doesn't like Ascot. Yes, he loves Goodwood, but you know, he goes at Ascot. And last week or 2 weeks ago at Haydock, he was a massive eye catcher. He was staying on really strongly in that race that was won by Earls. Remember that one?
Yes.
I think we were on the show. And we were saying how well handicapped Earls could be, and so it proved. But Ross Collin came from miles off the pace and was never nearer than at the line. He would just look like he was building up to this race. I think that he's got a huge chance here, Ross Collin, as long as they're no firm on the ground, which I don't think there will be. I would much rather back him than Pearl D'Or at the prices. I know that Jason Watson never rides Pearl D'Or, and he's always on Ross Collin, but...
It's good to firm now. I'm just hearing in my ear as well. So
What?
I wouldn't worry too much about Ross Collin. I was at Goodwood, I think. I think we were there that horrible day last year. It was dreadful, the worst weather I've ever had at a racecourse ever.
How can it be good to firm?
I think, well, I'm hearing it's drying to good to firm. It's good, you know.
Well, yesterday
the producers could be, of course, wrong. You know these producers.
Yesterday the going sick on the straight course was, I think, 6.9, right? And that is generally good to soft ground.
Yeah, that's low.
Right? So unless it's dried out ridiculously fast, which it might have done, I guess, given the weather, it can't be good to firm, Dave. No, don't tell me that.
I seem to remember with Ross Collin going into that Goodwood run, people were worried about whether he'd actually sluice through the ground or not. He really pulled it out that day.
He loves soft ground, but...
Okay, well, Ross Collin for you. Watch back on your members club. You can do this. The videos are all free if you've signed up, of course, at the Racing Post, that Haydock run. I won't be doing that because I backed the Richard Hannon horse in that race. It's still running, Tuckerib Bay. But I remember the race. It was Earls. Gavin Cromwell came over and landed a gamble. All right, that's it from me. I've put up a horse that might still have more to offer. He loves back class, and he's looking for the well-handicapped Ross Collin. Where's Aidan Coleman going?
I'm like Popmaster, and I see Tom Seagal has copied me, which is great. I think good claimer, loves Ascot, you know, being here before in these races and performs, isn't he? So, and he's a bit of an each-way price as well, so take a view. There's also another one I like Jubilee. You know, William Buick gets on really well with him and got group form. Has disappointed a couple of times at Ascot, but has had a couple of okay runs there as well. But he's drawn low, Popmaster's drawn high. One of the two of them.
That's what we want. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have a couple of stabs.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just cover your bets a little bit.
What about Hickory?
It's these colours as well, isn't it? The Tin Man colours.
The Tin Man, yeah. He could run well. He was, I think it was second or third in that race. Is it the International, they call it? Like, this is like the first of several of these, isn't it? Like, it's in the jumps, it's like the Cheltenham 2.5 mile handicaps, isn't it? You get one in November, one in December, one at New Year's Day, one in January, one at the big meeting. And at Ascot, it's like 7 furlong handicaps, isn't it? And Victoria Cup.
Love it.
Buckingham Palace, Sandringham, they all come, don't they? The Hunt
Sandringham? I know what you mean.
You know,
whatever they're called in September, October.
And then
one a month,
International, and then
Love it.
loads of them. And he was second or third in one of them.
Yeah, the straight track narrative.
Yeah.
But Aidan's had 2 stabs. It doesn't open the door for you then to just get in and have 2 stabs.
Someone just told me it's fast ground. How can it be fast? I'm not having that. I'm sorry.
Well,
Who's the guy who's
do
the
a Paul
clerk of the
Keeley,
course?
get on your phone and have a
Who's the
check.
clerk of the course at Ascot?
It's Stickles, isn't it?
Can't be fast ground. Sorry.
Well, I'm not too far away from there as the crow flies, and it was pretty tasty weather when I was coming in. Dave Lowe saying our producer saying it was.
Well, why has he not got his
yesterday.
watering can out then?
Well, they might well have done. They might well have done. Who was at Ascot after racing yesterday? Did you see any of the sprinklers going on? Okay, that's the Victoria Cup. What do you like? A massive puzzle. Can make a case for nearly all of the runs. We've got to move on, and it's back we go to Lingfield. Just a reminder. If you want to look at these beaten horses from Chester and the winners, of course, of Aidan O'Brien and what's maybe to come this weekend, we did a great interview with him at the Racing Post this weekend. He mentions all of these horses. You can get involved. Go and find it. Just put it in the search bar, whatever you need to do. Go and find it. And it's all there. Aidan, very giving. As he was with Paul Keeley, just before the Guineas. Right, we must move on, though, because it's all about Illinois versus Defiance. Or is it, J-Mac?
Yeah, it's been a really interesting betting heat, this one. This time yesterday, Defiance was favourite. We laid him from 11-4 down. He got down to as short as 15-8, but he's drifted back out as the supports come for Illinois, who's been 3-1 into the current 2-1. Yeah, really interesting betting heat. It works out about 8-11 the pair, so we might be struggling to get them beat. But I don't think it's impossible because the Euphrates finish ahead of Illinois at Leopardstown, and it's got similar likely race profile. I can't see why he couldn't do it again, maybe. And Maidan's possibly another one that we've got running for us. He's probably worth another chance after he was talked up before Newmarket, disappointed at the Craven meeting, but might be worth another chance.
Yeah, a bit of shoring came off him after he was a bit too keen at Newmarket, but the Crystal team in a lot better form now, that's for sure. You're sponsoring a lot of races out there at the moment, a lot of big ones, which is really good to see, J-Man. Is that why we're not seeing Johnny Simpson on this show? Is he there with the champagne, hoity-toities, is he, and you're stuck on that trading floor every week? That
sounds about right. Yeah, there's a big meeting. You're a lot more likely to see Johnny at the races than you are me, but I am actually got a couple of days at York this week to look forward to, but just means I'm back in next weekend doing this. I think footballers get more weekends off than me.
Don't sound too gutted about it, man. I'm also here with you. Think there's a spare a thought for us presenters as well. All right, there's the market then. Illinois or not? Aidan O'Brien? Aidan Coleman. Yeah. Well, listen, having seen you with the green and gold mafia, maybe that will be your your métier.
No.
What wins, Illinois or not?
I love Illinois. Yeah, I wanted to nap him actually.
Why didn't you nap him? Go on,
I was told I had to nap something else.
Because it's boosted with that shouldn't matter though. Yeah. I think we like to take on these naps, but also some insufferable buffoon got in on the race as well, didn't he, before you?
But he was first string for Group 1 last year as a 2-year-old and wasn't beaten far. Only an okay run, first run back, but Aidan O'Brien's hadn't hit form then, and they're running better now, and with a run under his belt, I think 2-to-1's a good price.
Yeah, I'm with you in the Illinois camp. Johnny Deneen, of course, very big on it as well. I must admit, when Defiance ran at Epsom, I thought I will be back in that next time. And then I saw the prices yesterday. It was a real move for him, wasn't there, Defiance? As it looked like Illinois might be doing that in the market. But the more he goes out, I don't know. I think it is a match.
Yeah, he's going to win, isn't he? Defiance, surely. I mean, he should have won that race at Epsom, shouldn't he? I mean, he was given an awful lot to do by James Doyle in a race where the winner and the third were in the first 2 places throughout pretty much, and give it another half furlong, he wins going away easily, doesn't he? And I think he'll come on for that run. Now, I know what you're going to say. Shall I let you say it? And the form's not good enough, is it?
Well, they do have a line on it as well, O'Brien and the team with Chief Little Rock.
And Chief Little Rock's nothing special. The winner, Bella Justum or whatever it's called, doesn't look like a top grader. But and Defiance is going to have to improve significantly for the run. But I thought like Nick Luck said earlier, he looked like he definitely would. You could see him turning up in a derby at 16-14-1. Probably not being good enough to win the derby, but he's the sort of horse who's going to stay forever, possibly end up in the St Ledger, and he'll probably win this race along the way. I think he'll win Defiance.
This is another race, of course, where we can see Epsom heroes. Of course, Adyar didn't win it, did he? Of course, famously.
Well, we would have said
Roger won it that year.
We would have said the same about Adyar probably after he was beaten in this, because he looked a bit slow, didn't he?
Yeah.
We'd have probably said, oh yeah, probably won't win the derby, might win the St Ledger, but he did go on and win the derby. So, yeah, High Rise won it. There can be, horses come out of this at massive prices that go on to run well at Epsom.
Ballydoyle have got the Euphrates in this as well, who's ahead of Illinois, but you can just see the expectations of Illinois coming on from that run. Of course, he was beaten by a horse called Los Angeles, wasn't he, when he went to France?
Yeah.
I liked his attitude that day, actually, Illinois. I'm with you. On that run, I think he still wins it. Yeah. We're going to see Los Angeles tomorrow, and we're going to see David Jennings shortly, I believe, as well, to tell us all about that. But it was just an okay run, wasn't it, Leopardstown? I mean, the money came for him. Apparently, he's been working very well.
Yeah.
And yet, Aidan's horse is coming on for the run. We know all about that.
Yeah.
Ground probably not ideal, but I wanted to just see a little bit more.
That's probably why he's 2-to-1 and not probably shorter, isn't it? I agree. Like you did want to see a little bit more from him at Leopardstown, didn't you? But at the same time, very different form of the stable from now to then, isn't there?
Yeah, well, I think if you're reading most headlines in the Post as well, you would have seen that Illinois' Derby odds could crash, I suppose. He's 20-1 on that Derby. There we go. We can see it there. He's 20-1. Where's Defiance, Jay, in the Derby market? Just to put you on the spot.
He's also 20-1 for us. I should also say we're 40-1 for each individual horse to do the double, so to win today and then follow up in the Derby.
So there's a couple of horses, thanks Jay, on that graphic as well that we're going to be talking about shortly as well. We've got Henry Longfellow and Diego Velasquez tomorrow in France, and we've got Los Angeles, of course, as well. Okay, let's move on from this race, but it is Illinois. Illinois, baby.
Yeah, I'm strong on Defiance.
All right, there's a split. All right, again, which way are you going? Keep chatting. Let's get these socials in. Like and subscribe. If you're enjoying the stream, let us know. That's what it's all about. As we move on. Oh, yeah, this is the Chartwell, isn't it? The William Hill Chartwell Stakes. This is a race over the years that I think we've all, if you've been in racing a long time, really enjoyed. It used to be a huge draw race. But they've sort of done what they can at Lingfield to negate that. And we have a hot pot here, Jamie McBride.
We do, although the front end of the market is a little bit lukewarm. We've seen money for Stent and Glide. Obviously, Tom's put them up, and you can see the case. They finish alongside each other in the Fred Darling, and Stent and Glide is significantly bigger price today. And we've also seen at fancy prices a couple of the 3-year-olds being supported, Born to Rock and Libler.
We've got great generation in there, in the classic generation as well. I'm going to come to you with this, Aidan Coleman, because this was, well, we might as well get rid of it now. This is going to be boosted at the end of the show because you are napping Remarquee.
Yeah, I love a class horse in a race. You know, she's two very, very good runs in Group 1s last year at Ascot and Newmarket. And then maybe slightly disappointing in France when she was favoured, but it only did come like 14 or 15 days after the Newmarket run, and it was her last run, so maybe it was just kind of one run too many. It's only a Group 3 today. I think the class will prevail.
Yeah, there's a bit of pressure on these Wath Nano owners, isn't they? Because they spent a lot of money, and some of the horses that they've run already have been turned over. This is one of them. Could she go on and be like, one of Beckett's older horses that just seem to hold their form so well?
Yeah, she definitely could, and she is a Group 1 filly in a Group 3 race, isn't she? No doubt about that. She was contesting Group 1s one after the other last season. There's a few doubts in my mind. Obviously, the first time up, Beckett's are only really just starting to get going. I have had it in the back of my mind that she doesn't want it really fast. Now, it might not be really fast at Lingfield. But it is drying, isn't it? And obviously, you would say Royal Ascot is the main aim, so she's probably not going to be 100% here. But I do think that she might still just be good enough to win. But I'm not sure I'd want to back her at 5-4.
Great generation running the race. It's working out particularly well.
Yeah.
She's got the higher draw as well. What do we make of the draw? Because we're talking about it, of course, with the Victoria Cup.
Yeah.
This is the draw course, isn't it?
Used to
Never
be.
mind Chester. This is the
Used
draw
to be
course.
a proper golden highway up the stand side round.
The
didn't
best.
there? You just simply couldn't lose if you were drawn 9 and 9 or
Seemed
10
like
or 10.
200 to 1 shots get on it and win.
Yeah, you jump on that round, that was it. It was like zooming up there. I think at one point they even measured both sides to make sure that they weren't running.
The theory was, I
shorter
believe, that
distance.
there was a chalk road or something, and they just cannot get it anything but quick there.
But they
where
have-
that is. They've tried to refigure the straight and everything.
They have done everything to try and negate that, haven't
Yeah.
they? And I think to a certain extent, it's not the highway that it used to be there, Dave. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to be drawn high. That's for sure.
Well, we're talking about quick ground, and we all think that Remarquee ought to get over the line here, but I have got some respect for that great generation. Talking about quick ground, John Gosling just saying to the Racing Post, we're breaking this at the moment out there on our Twitter. You've probably seen it. If it's too quick, Danielle will not run. They're not going to risk her, and it's drying up all the time. They've also sent me, the producers, a map of the going turf tracks at Ascot, and it's definitely nearly good to Ferntree. Much to your chagrin. What else are they saying?
I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that, Dave. But when it was good to firm a couple of years ago in that Buckingham Palace that Ross Collin was third, the time suggested it was only good. So maybe they got it wrong.
Well, okay, well, they
That's
can
what
do
I'm
that.
holding on to.
This is why you're here.
But just on Golden Generation in this race, did speak to our new...
Great generation.
Sorry, Great Generation, yeah.
Could be a golden generation.
I did speak to our Newmarket man. I was telling Aidan this earlier off camera. David Milnes, Milnesy, good friend, and he was telling us that Holly Doyle is really keen to ride Great Generation in this race all week. However, she has been claimed to go and ride for Inmed El Segara over at Newmarket on Merlin the Wizard in Victoria Cup, but she was very, very keen to ride Great Generation.
Like that.
Thought he had a huge chance.
Good intel there. It's the Folgaria, isn't it, of course, who runs in the French 1000 Guineas tomorrow as well. Right, we've got to move on. There are your Saturday previews. St Bells, will Danielle run or not? Don't forget that City of Troy poll as well. We're getting loads of votes in for that. Is it a yes or no for the Derby? Right now, we're going to take a pause. Who wants some free bets? Stay ahead of the field. Get those free bets all open to you. Quite easy to navigate your way there and do so. Let's navigate our way across the Irish Sea, shall we? Enjoy David Jennings, our Deputy Irish Editor, to give us the Irish angle. Now, we've got Cork and we've got Naas on today, DJ, haven't we? And, of course, we want that mouth-watering information from Leopardstown tomorrow. How are you, man?
I'm very good. I'm very good enjoying the show. I have to say my favourite bit of the show was when Graeme was talking about the first race at Ascot, and he said, you know, I really should be tipping Graeme because he's called after me, but I'm going to put a bit more effort into it. But it's actually spelled differently.
Well, you lie. You love pulling us up on things like that. He gets to sit there and watch. You know, the cosy of his own kitchen. He's like, I've got him on now. I've got him now, and I've got him. He does it with me. Trust me. But we all are buffoons.
There's only one Graeme Rodway.
There he is. Quite right. You're looking sharp, DJ. A bit different to Punchestown last week. You've recovered well.
I have, yeah. No, it was a great week at Punchestown. It was a long week, but it was a great week. You know, them 3:40 starts and kind of whatever 7:45 finishes in the evening, they're long days, but great finish to the week. And I'm sure Aidan probably thought it as well. I just thought the Jockeys Championship in Ireland was terrific. To see Jack Kennedy winning it and, you know, getting a proper season injury-free. And Aidan knows more than anybody how important that is to stay injury-free. And, you know, what a talent. And to beat Paul Townend in the Jockeys Championship, when I would argue that Paul has probably had his best ever season, winning the, you know, Champion Hurdle, the Gold Cup and the Grand National in one season, to win it when his main competitor is at the very top of his game, an incredible achievement.
Yeah, this is a young man that is here to stay. It's amazing how young he is, really, when you think about how he conducts himself and stuff.
And the injuries he's had, and he keeps coming back better than ever. And I think, could be wrong on this. No, I think I'm right. I think his first rides of the season last year were at Galway, so he would have really been an unlucky loser if he did get beat. And when you had Gaelic Warrior and Galloping the Champs beat at odds on, he only won by 2. You know, couldn't
It was
it
all counts, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it was a great
very
race,
well
that.
deserved winner.
Yeah, okay. DJ, we've got, of course, Oaks Trials over here. We've been having them all week at Chester, and you've been watching on from there. But we've got one at Naas today, haven't we? The Jana Rose Stakes, is that right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, whether it is it's a Group 3 in name, it's probably not the strongest renewal of the race. Over the years, there's been some decent winners of it, but this year it's kind of one of them. Like Flight of Fancy is second favourite and is still a maiden. Jesus is favourite at the moment for Joseph O'Brien and Dylan Brown McMonigal. The one that I actually liked in this was See the Boss, who's actually owned by Brian Atchison of Rob Corr's wife, so familiar owner there, See the Boss. Very impressive in debut at Tipperary on decent ground, and then it ran in that really strong listed race at Leopardstown the first day of Irish Champions Weekend. I actually thought she ran really well there. I thought she, you know, it was only I think 6 days later, and I thought, you know, Content was second, Kitty Rose won the race. It was a really strong listed race. It always is. It kicks off the Irish Champions Weekend, and I thought that was a real solid effort from an inexperienced filly. And you can forget her last run at the Curragh. It was on real deep ground. She did too much too soon. She didn't handle the conditions. I think if there is a proper, you know, Group 2/Group 1 filly in the race, it's probably her. Now, whether she lacks the kind of nous to win a race like this now, I don't know. But I thought she was a value. I couldn't believe she was 6-1 last night. I think she's into about 4s now. But I thought she was interesting. And the Jessica Harrington team are really starting to hit top gear now.
Yes, they are. Do you know, she unleashed a newcomer the other day. I know because I was on the horse that was second to it, called Sandman. It looks like a really, really good horse. That keep with it. And Jessie Harrington, I totally agree. Despite the fact that Tom Marquand went far too hard and fast on her 2-year-old at Chester, she is absolutely flying. Let's look at tomorrow, DJ, because there's a horse in these Derby markets that we've seen called Los Angeles, whose form, you know, could well be boosted again today. He's a monster of a horse, and he turns up tomorrow at Leopardstown.
Yeah, it's one of these, like 2 from 2, could be anything, you know, son of Camelot. He's a brother to a decent enough horse who did quite well in Australia. So it's hard to know what to expect from Los Angeles. I suppose you go back to that run in the Criterium, the Song Clou, and, you know, showed a really good attitude there to beat a horse of Joseph's. And Illinois was third. Like, Illinois was, I think, favourite, a joint favourite that day, but Illinois was the more fancied one in the camp. But Los Angeles just showed a terrific attitude under Christophe Soumillon, and I actually thought when he won that maiden at Tipperary, that often works out quite well, and this year it is working out quite well as well, because the third horse that day was Marty the Party, who was well beaten over 4 lengths, and Marty the Party is now rated 93 after bolting up in a handicap, and I'd say Marty the Party is quite decent. See the Polaris has franked the form since. London City was 6th. So the form of that Tipperary that Los Angeles won has worked out really, really well and showed a good attitude at Songclue last time. Now, obviously, the big difference here is that it's going to be completely different ground to anything he's faced so far. It was yielding the first day Tipperary, but there was plenty cutting the ground. And then obviously, as it always is at Songclue, it was pretty bottomless, because I think it was officially very soft ground at Songclue in October. So different ground, and Los Angeles faces a race-fit rival in Bremen. And Bremen is not big, like, he's a real compact colt. But what he did kind of from the furlong pole to the line of Cork, I thought was really impressive. And he mightn't just have the class of a Los Angeles, and I think the market will tell us exactly where we stand with Los Angeles. But if Los Angeles is not on his A game, I would fully expect Bremen to pick up the pieces. But you'd kind of hope that Los Angeles just might be a bit better class than him.
13-8 on at the moment, William Hill, for what we know as the Derrinstown tomorrow. Then you got the Amethyst Stakes there as well. Are you going to be there, DJ?
I am going to be there, yeah. Would you believe today is my day off? Some day off this is, isn't it? I'm in Leopardstown tomorrow, and I suppose the race that I'm most looking forward to is that Group 3 at 2:25. Paddy Toomey, look, I've written about Paddy Toomey already this season. Like, his strike rate just is astonishing. I think it's up on 40% at the minute this season. Another good week for him, and One Look is unbeaten. She runs in that Group 3 against Buttons, and I would be on the Buttons side of things. I think this is going to be a big weekend for Aidan O'Brien. Buttons, to me, looks like a filly who's going to have a really good season, just progressed through the season. Finished third to Lilac Rolla and Kitty Rose on her reappearance at Leopardstown, but she was kind of the one you'd probably take from the race. Kind of afterwards, you'd say to yourself, God, wherever she shows up next time in some kind of a trial, you'd want to be on her. I think they're joint favourites in the market at the minute, One Look and Buttons, but I think I'd be in the Buttons side of things there. I'd say she's quite useful.
Okay, yeah, no pantomime villain there then. And of course, Johnny Deneen keen on that as well. DJ, we will let you go. We know you're out with the wife and the kids for a lovely day at some sort of theme park or something, whatever you're doing. 2 questions. City of Troy, yes or no for the Derby?
Oh, no for me. No for me. I can't believe the price he is now, to be honest with you. I can see the case that people are making. I just didn't like what I saw, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Aidan can do in the next couple of weeks, because I obviously spoke to him on Monday. It's one of them phone calls you don't really want to make, and well, Aidan, what's your thoughts on City of Troy, and he was very upbeat, obviously, as you'd expect him to be, and was pretty much of the opinion that he was far too fresh to do himself justice. And I said to him, you don't become a bad horse overnight, and he certainly agreed. He thought, in no way whatsoever was this the City of Troy that he knew last season, and that apparently he knew in the first couple of weeks of this season as well, when he'd been working towards the Guineas. So it was too bad to be true, as Nick Luck said earlier on, like the piece that Tom wrote earlier on this week. He kind of did say what everybody else was thinking. You're kind of just wondering, what are we going to get from City of Troy and some of these real top notchers from Ballydoyle. But look, Aidan's a genius. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he did it last year with Augusta Rodin, especially after the King George. I know the Guineas, we could blame the ground for Augusta Rodin, but to go from the King George to the Irish Champion Stakes the way Augusta Rodin did, that was mind-boggling to me. And then obviously to go to the Breeders' Cup. So he can do it. We know he can do it. I would have this way, way ahead of what he did with Augusta Rodin last season. If he can get City of Troy back from that run in the Guineas to win a Derby, in my opinion, it would possibly be his greatest training achievement.
I'm with you. I am with you. Let's find out, while you're still with us, DJ, what the viewers think. We've got a poll out there. Loads of votes coming in from this. City of Troy for the Derby. Yes. 40%. No. 60%. So, Aidan, remind us where your vote went.
Yes.
Yes for Aidan.
I don't know.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Is that an option?
Not well. I suppose it is, of course, but it's not very helpful for us. I'm going to start spelling your name wrong just to really make this better. DJ, give us your best bet of the entire weekend.
Yeah, pretty keen on this one. I thought it might be a little bit bigger of a price, but I was expecting too much. It was 6s this morning. I think it's into 4s now with William Hill. It's Mayman, Mehman, in the 2 o'clock at Naas. I've been quite a fan of this horse for a while, and he's 3 from 6 on the all-weather. He's never won on grass. He's 0 from 11. But I always think with these sprinters, when they find their grade and when they get into a grade that they're better than they can really show their class. And this guy is just better than this grade, I think. It's the first time he's been in, it's a 47 to 75, and it's the first time he's been in this grade in ages. And his 2 runs this season, I thought both of them were promising. He completely missed a break, 20 lengths on his debut and his first start of the season at Cork, and he flew home. I thought that was a really good run. And then I fancied him last time at the Curragh, where he was probably just caught on the wrong side. But look, he was running against the likes of Laugh a Minute. Magical Vision won the race, who's been in good form for Aidan Howard. So it's strong form, and he's running against kind of lesser sprint handicappers here. I think the draw is perfect as well, because he's in stall 12. Double figure draws have won it for the last 3 years in a row. Shane Foley keeps the faith as well. He rode him last time at the Curragh. I'd be disappointed if Mayman isn't bang there in that 2 o'clock at Naas.
A comprehensive case. A lot of people just typing in that into their search boards or looking through the paper. DJ, fantastic. We'll find out at the end of the show, by the way, guys, what that is boosted to. Go and enjoy your day off now, DJ. Thanks as ever.
Cheers, boys.
Great stuff, David Jennings, Deputy Irish Editor, comprehensive as ever. Naps to come then, as is our preview of the 2 classics tomorrow at Paris Longchamp.
Get 50% off your first 3 months in the Racing Post Members Club. As a member, you get access to the digital newspaper exclusively available to members the night before. You'll get daily tips from the likes of Pricewise, Tom Siegel, Robbie Wilders and Paul Keeley. Enjoy award-winning journalism from the industry's best writers and watch replays from all British and Irish racing now available within the Racing Post app. Subscribe today and get 50% off your first 3 months.
There you go, Members Club. Lee Motter said there, flexing his voiceover skills. Great stuff. All right, let's have a look at the 2 classics then. Tomorrow it is Longchamp's turn to show us their guineas. Of course, great card you can get on Sky Sports Racing, of course. Watch it all the races, group races all over the place. And Jay, I want to come to you because at 2:50 we've got the pool the pool leash. I wanted to call it the pool. It's the pool leash, of course. That's the Fillies, and we got such an open market here. I couldn't believe it when I saw in the running order yesterday, and all the more clever people than you were emailing in and saying 5 places.
Yep, 5 places, 15 go to post, and like you said, it has got a wide open field, so it's a good strong offer, and it became a little bit more wide open after the draw. Romantic Style had been backed into as short as 5-2, but she's drawn 14 of 15, and the other one we laid anti-post, Chic Columbine, got 15 of 15, so well done to whoever did that draw. One we like and one we're going to keep a little bit on side is Louise Proctor, really taken with a win on the All-Weather last time, and she looks potentially very smart.
Yeah, the only thing that disappoints me about that, Jay, is your current price is 7-2. I was hoping for a little bit bigger than that. I'll get this out of the way. I like her in Folgaria. Romantic Style is a very interesting filly, and we've seen her form franked. Let's talk a little bit about that. Folgaria first, of course, beat the 1,000 guineas winner at Newmarket last weekend, Yamalka, who probably should have won that race, but they were the 2 horses in the race that ran really, really quick sectionals, and Folgaria is a winning machine.
Yeah, she came out of Italy, didn't she? She was with Stefano Botti, and now Marco Botti's got her. And yeah, she came out and won that very impressively. And as you say, the form is working out nicely. It could get even better today, couldn't it? If the Great Generation or Stenson Glider were to run well in the Chartwell. So yeah, I mean, she must have a huge chance, mustn't she, here?
Yes, and she's drawn in 6. Holly Doyle on again. Let's talk about Louise Proctor, of course. Jean-Claude Rouget, the trainer, basically farms this race, or he's won a lot of them. And while I don't think there's a Blue Rose Sen in this race, of course, last year's winner, great filly. I think she might be the one that might be. And when I saw stall 2 come out, I thought she probably ought to be
nice. And he, like you say, Rouget's got he's a defined way of going about doing things, hasn't he? In these classics, he likes to bring them along slowly, and then bang, you see a different horse in the classics. And, and like Jamie said, there's a good chance you might see a different horse here. But it's a cracking race, isn't it? Who knows what we can expect from who's the one who's drawn 1 here? You have to help me out now.
Hang on, I had it out there. I was
There's
just looking at the former Romantic Style,
really
getting ready,
draw.
thinking you were a professional and you could lead me there.
Sorry, I didn't know, but I completely forgot. Come on.
Rose Bloom.
Yeah, Rose Bloom.
Rose Bloom.
Yeah, sorry, Rose Bloom, right? She was disappointing on her reappearance, but she ran second last year behind that good horse of Aidan O'Brien's called a music singer or opera singer or something like that.
Singer.
Opera singer, yeah, at the track. I think personally that is the best piece of course form on offer here.
What happened on her return then?
Well, the French do this, don't they? I think this is, it's fair to say the French way of training is they don't really care about the trials. They use them as real proper trials, and then suddenly, like I just said about Rouget, you see bang and you see a different horse. However, this is not the one I'm tipping. Do you want to know what I'm going to tip?
I do.
Kathmandu. This one was third in the trial itself over in England behind Pretty Crystal and Dance Sequence. They finished 9th and 10th in the Guineas, but if you watch the race back, Kathmandu was on the other side of the track, then ended up hanging all the way across to this side. Brian Meehan won one of these French Guineas with Isaac Shelby. Was it last year?
Did Isaac Shelby get over the line in front?
I think so.
Oh, he was placed, wasn't he? I'm sure he was.
No, I think.
Did he win it? He won it, did he?
Well, he might have won the Derby.
He went to Wathnan, didn't he?
He won one of those.
He's won other races here as well. I was thinking you were going to go way back.
No.
I want to say better horses than Isaac Shelby. I really like Isaac Shelby, but he has won some
same
very
colours,
big races.
Wasn't it? The Sangster colours.
He can go to the Breeders' Cup and take them out. Yeah, he's a powerhouse trainer.
Ron Free, Kathmandu. I just thought a big old price. Kathmandu will be the one, but I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's a cracking race, and don't surprise me that Hills are offering 5 places, because you can make a case for 10.
Yeah, when you saw the draw come out for Romantic Style, the Godolphin, I think we could say Hot Pot, William Buick on. Oof, but her form in the Impudence is unbelievable, isn't it? Both Ramachoy and Tamfana should have won in their own respective runs last week at Newmarket. But that day in the Impudence, Buick was the only jockey, I'm almost certain of it, that had a semblance of a plan. And they followed him at the end, and he was too professional that day, if you like, for Ramachoy. Is she a filly that you're with, or?
Oh, he's going to have to be at his best with that draw, isn't he? The more, this is a very good race. It's hard to weigh up, isn't it? But the more I look at it, the more I like Content. You know, she improved all of last year, and you know her run in Santa Anita was really good. She was arguably unlucky.
Yeah.
So she, you know, on another day she could be coming here as a Breeders' Cup winner. Galileo, good filly. Mecca's Angel, I think she's out of.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Something
Yeah.
like that, isn't it?
It's a good filly, wasn't it?
Well, they're all good pedigrees. It's not like stating the obvious there, isn't it? But,
yeah,
but like
ridiculous.
she improved as well. Mecca's Angel with time as well, didn't she?
Yeah.
And the Content really improved all last season. It is a good race, so it's very open, and you can see why they're going 5 places.
Yeah, exactly that. All right, that is the Pouliche then. Let's move to the Poulain, which is a little bit later on, which is the French 2,000 guineas, as we know it, viewers out there, as I'm sure you well know. Oh my Lord. 11 to 10 about Henry Longfellow. Hang your head in shame, Jamie McBride.
Yeah, we're 4 places on this one on the 13 runners, and like I said, Henry Longfellow's shortening up now with 11 to 10. I guess he poses a similar type of question to City of Troy last week, and he's got the best form, but that did come a good 8 months ago now, and as whether punters have seemingly do have the faith to get behind him tomorrow.
Well, I think if you were in France, Jay, on the Paris Mutuel, you'd be seeing vastly different prices to these, but it is, of course, the most likely winner. And I agree it's the most likely winner. They kept him away from Newmarket. He was unbeaten in 3 starts last year. He looked a scopy horse as well, Aidan. It's just that price, isn't it? 11 to 10, my goodness, because Ramadan will be nearly favourite on the French Paris Mutuel.
He's very short, isn't he? But it's hard to go against him. When you look at his form, when he won the National Stakes last year, he looked like another one. He could be anything.
Yeah.
City of Troy did last week as well. We see how that worked out.
Well, at 11 to 10, that's the worry, isn't it?
It's very short. It's very short. But looking through the race, it's very kind of hard to oppose him at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're kind of banking. If you're going against him, you're banking on the same thing happening. What happened City of Troy, aren't you?
I'm nodding along to all of this, by the way.
Which isn't a very good angle.
It's a price thing, G, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a price thing.
Is this the most likely winner?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. In a normal year, I think you'd have seen him at Newmarket, wouldn't you? But because they thought they had the next Frankel, they decided to just run City of Troy because they thought he'd just win anyway. And they'll send Henry Longfellow here. And, I mean, he should win. And he's got a great draw, hasn't he? I think he's 6, is he? So he's on the inside.
He's
That's
next
where
door
you
to
wanna
Ramadan. Have you seen Ramadan since he's come back?
No, I've not seen Ramadan.
He's a very solid horse. He was beaten either side of a good win last year, but he's just been very well placed. Very well placed.
Would you say about the O'Brien 3-year-old? So he is making his reappearance, and there's been a bunch of these reappearing Aidan O'Brien 3-year-olds get beat, hasn't there? Including another one this week, that Grosvenor Square, that had a really good chance. So
Yes.
there is that question mark about Aidan's first time up, and he's a very, very short price. Eben Shaddad, I don't think he's out of it. The Gosden horse. Gosden runs a lot of his best 3-year-old colts in the Craven first time up. He did it with Ravens Pass, I think. a few years back, and he got beat there, and then suddenly took off and improved massively as the year went on.
Yeah.
And Eben Shaddad ran well in the Craven. He was behind Hartem. Hartem, I thought, pretty much gave that form a real solid look.
Did.
He finished third in the Guineas, didn't he? Ran a real cracking race. And I've seen it with Gosden before. His horses come on a lot for running in that Craven. So I think you'll see an improved performance from Evan Shaddad. But if we get the Henry Longfellow that we saw last year, Aidan, what we saw last year, Dave, he will win, won't he?
Well, he'd be fascinating because he'd then give us that mile angle going forward, notable truth or whatever, a notable speech. And then we've got also, of course, Rosalia, and that's going to be a really nice Irish Guineas.
I thought he looked really good, notable speech, I know a lot of talk about City of Troy, but what's got lost in amongst it was notable speech was really impressive, wasn't he? The way he won at Newmarket last week.
Maybe this is the next Frankel and it wasn't City of Troy.
Yeah, maybe they got mixed up on the gallops.
Yeah.
I reckon they do that at Ballydoyle. They go, oh no, actually, that's they mix them up. What do you reckon?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, Ryan's actually riding the wrong one.
Well, there you go. All right, 11 to 10 then with Hills. They just think he wins, obviously. But look for that support for Ramadan, I think, who like I say, in France will be a lot shorter. Diego Velasquez as well. A lot of people thought he was the next coming, wasn't he? And some really good horses there. Good to see Dancing Gemini. 4 places we're playing here, of course. I'd love to see Dancing Gemini for Roger Teal. Dylan Brown McMonagle gets the ride. And there's a couple of Sod's Law angles in here, aren't they? If Ramadan wins, it will be Aurelian and Metro, who once again got pelters coming over for a ride. Remember Blue Rose Sen at Goodwood last year. And of course he went too quick and got nutted. He would have been a genius if he'd have won by a short hair. These jockeys have got it tough, haven't they?
Yeah.
You're loving the game now,
that took a bit of dissecting that 1,000 guineas last week, didn't it?
Oh, that was absolute madness.
There's stories from every horse, wasn't it?
Made a great case for both the winner and Tanfana as well. But yeah, anyway, there we go. We digress. All right, let's move on to the bit a lot of you wait for each week. It is the Naps coming up, and of course they're boosted. And we saw David Jennings giving us one Meman. That was in Ireland. Jamie McBride, you've done something now 2 weeks in a row where, having had a nap which you had to replace 3 weeks ago and getting quite clearly uppity about it, you've jocked other people off your last 2.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't have 2 in the same race. I'm sure the world would keep turning, but there you go. Mother Mary for me this week for the same yard that did me a favour last week, James Ferguson, in the Fillies handicap at Ascot. We're going 7 from 11 to 2. Mayman, as DJ put up, 5 from 7 to 2. Remarque 6 to 4 from 5 to 4. Defiance is 7 to 2 from 3 to 1. And Shortash for you, Dave, is 8 from 13 to 2.
Now, hang on a minute. 8 to 1 about Shortash. Are you suggesting this should be an 80 to 1 shot because I've napped it?
No. Poet Master has been really well supported. We were much bigger when I put prices out on Thursday. He's been backed into a short price, so everything else has drifted. And Shortash is definitely on the slide. I'm not sure if he'll be even more on the slide after you've napped them, but we shall see.
This is unbelievable.
Put another 0 on it, Dave. Put another 0 on it.
Put another 0 on it. It's unbelievable. I napped Bill Silvers on the show last week at Goodwood. Right, it was 7 to 2. I literally got out into the office after the show. He was 6s and ran like a 6s shot as well. This is the week, lads and ladies. You can hear it from me. Defiance for UG, 7 to 2. Lovely.
Yeah, great price. They're more than happy with Defiance. I should also say that the anti-postman was on to me yesterday, Robbie Wilders, making a very strong case for Mother Mary. He said they smashed this last time in a better race.
Guess who napped it last time out?
You did?
I did.
Oh, so that's another reason why.
Kempton.
Yeah, that's another reason why it got beat.
It ran like a train.
It needs to win to have any chance of getting in at Royal Ascot, I think.
Yeah, okay. And this is an ex-Irish source, of course.
I don't think it'll win.
What? Because you were going to nap it.
You were going to go against it. I was going to nap Susanna in the same race. I think Susanna will win. But anyway, my nap is Defiance.
We have a bit of fun on the Friday, of course, as you can imagine with these naps. You are on your first one, God knows what that was, it got absolutely stuffed, but you had a beautiful one last time, which all of us were going a bit like, where's he got this from? And Remarque, everyone can see, 6 to 4?
Yeah, it's like Group 1 filly and a Group 3.
Now you're getting more excited about it, though.
Yeah.
All right, loving it. All right, that's us then. Done for this weekend's Morning Post. Wasn't it a pleasure to have Nick Luck on somewhere? He said he was at the Badminton trials. Looked like he was more, I don't know, government mission or something, didn't he? He had to block everyone out. It was great to have Lucky. He was very keen on Pearl d'Or, the gamble in the Victoria Cup. Well done in that poll, people. 60% no, City of Troy, where David Jennings wasn't sure either. He gave us Meman, who of course is out to 5 to 1. J-Mac, great to see you. You're thrilled about it, but you'll be here next weekend.
I will be. Might be slightly more bleary-eyed than normal after a couple of days on the Knavesmire. But yep, looking forward to next. It's usually a good card at Newbury, isn't it? So looking forward to it.
And if you're up on the Knavesmire and you see the great man, go and say hello, of course. The Boost, Illinois, right out to 5-2. That's what we are. We're playing all sorts of places all over the place. What does the weekend hold for Aidan Coleman?
Not a lot now. I've been in Ireland all week, so I need a few things to do. I am really looking forward. There's a race tonight in America at 9:40, I think. Our
Goodness,
time.
we got this in.
Yeah, the Iroquois. It's Nashville. I need to get there one day. It's like you get over there 30 to 40,000 people. I don't know what it's on, but it's
going in there later. I'll try and make sure it is.
Yeah, it's nearly 100 grand to the winner, and I'm not sure why more European connections don't try and exploit these.
It's not just about Gulfstream. It's not just about Belmont and the Big A. Tonight is about Percy Warner Park.
Yeah,
it's
Percy Warner Park.
Scaramanga won it last year for Willie Mullins.
Yes, I'd love to go to, like I said, 30, 40,000 people just outside Nashville. That'd be a weekend, wouldn't it?
A right old weekend.
Yeah, and like I said, nearly 100 grand for a race. That
You'd need a sat nav, wouldn't you? Probably after a couple of drinks over there.
no, I'd be right. I can hold it. Yeah, I can hold it. Yeah, that'd be grand.
Yeah, okay. And of course, we've got Gordon Elliott runners in there tonight.
He has runners on the card, not in that race.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we've got Snap Decision, of course. Sebastopol runs.
Yeah.
He's now gone to Jack Fisher, who farms this race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you recognise some of these horses as a Build champion as well, remember him?
No, on the Arc.
Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah.
Know the Arc as well, yeah. So look, that is at tonight, 9:40. I'll try and get Sky to cover that.
I might tune in if you're going to show that, Dave. Get it on Sky. Percy Warner
It's
Park.
just when I go off air, but Kate Tracy will be on. There you go. She'll be with Tom Collins as well. All right, that's still to come. G-Rod, nice to have you back.
Yeah, great to be back on Derby Day. So looking forward to the Derby now.
Amazing. It's all happening in front of us, isn't it? As is this Saturday. Loads of sport out there. Like and subscribe. That's what it's all about here on the Morning Post, when we will be back next Saturday. Until then, enjoy the sport.